All right. Question number 4. Is there a working scholarly definition of religion at all, or has the field mostly given up on drawing up a boundary?
Okay, so I'm going to apologize in advance for just talking.
Getting my
Like,
water.
please interrupt me at some point. There are so many definitions of religion out there. Like, it is impossible to define religion effectively. Like, it may seem easy, it may seem intuitive. Like, oh, I know what a religion is. I see a religion. It's not. It's not that easy. Try to define a religion. There will be holes in it. No one can do it. So I think what we need to do is for future episodes, just like go through definitions of religion and just talk through them. I think that would be so much fun, and it would be great. That being said, I've listed 3 of my favorites here, and
Okay.
and I'll kind of read through them, and we'll talk through them very, very briefly, and save these things for a longer conversation later.
Number 1.
First off, Emil Durkheim is probably the
Mhm.
most famous definition of religion, the most used in modern times still. And his is going to be more of a functionalist definition. What does religion do in order to, like, how do we see it function?
Mhm.
So he defines it as a religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. That is to say, things set apart and forbidden, beliefs and practices which unite into a single moral community called the church, all those who adhere to them in order to organize a cohesive social unit.
Yeah.
So for Durkheim, religion is about society. How does it
Mm.
fit into societal roles and figure that out? What is, beliefs and practices that bring a community together? This is a really helpful definition that can be used. The problem with this is that it can extend to so many things beyond what we would consider to be religion. We look at If we look at Durkheim's definition, anything from baseball to Coca-Cola to Taylor Swift could be defined as a religion. And and I think there's beauty to this definition in that if we use that as a definition, it allows religious scholars to study a lot of things as if they are religion, whether or not they are religion or not. That's beside the point. But we can study many things using this functionalist definition to kind of look at religion. And I think on kind of jumping off this, Paul Tillich, who's a Christian theologian and philosopher, has a similar definition where he says religion, in the largest and most basic sense of the word, is ultimate concern. And ultimate concern is manifest in all creative functions of the human spirit.
Mhm.
And so for Paul Tillich, religion is something that matters the most. And that's similar to Durkheim. The same problems with Paul Tillich arise with Durkheim and stuff. And if you look more into Paul Tillich's work, he gets much more specific and elaborates on it, as does Durkheim. But for the point of this conversation, anything can be an ultimate concern as well. And it's harder to maybe harder to look at Taylor Swift or Coca-Cola as an ultimate concern, but I think it is still prevalent and possible and relevant to see these things that we wouldn't traditionally categorize as religious as things of ultimate concerns. Um, and again, the problem with this is that some religions aren't really concerned with ultimate concerns.
Mhm.
That's not what their ultimate concern is having an ultimate concern.
Yeah.
And because it's so hard to define religion, Jonathan Z. Smith kind of defines religion as a scholarly discourse. Um, he says religion is a second order generic concept that plays the same role in establishing a disciplinary horizon that a concept such as language plays in linguistics or culture plays in anthropology. There can be no disciplined study of religion without such a horizon. That is a lot of words, complicated to understand, but
Yeah.
I think he says it better in his book Imagining Religion,
Mhm.
where he says, while there is a staggering amount of data, phenomena, um, of human experiences and expressions that might be characterized in one culture or another by one criterion or another as religion, there is no data for religion. Religion is solely the creation of the scholar's study. It is created for the scholar's analytic purposes by his imaginative acts of comparison and generalization. Religion has no existence apart from the academy.